Welcome back to Passing Time with Craig. As always, I'm your host, Craig, and today I am joined by a Calgary-based musician, hip-hop artist, Iron Lion. Hello.
Hey, how are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. We have lots to talk about. We're going to be talking about Black Ship Enterprise, your new album that was just released.
Yes, November 29th.
Yeah, just fresh out into the world.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about music and everything. So first, I want to get into it. Like, when did you really get into hip hop, and when did you want to be a part of that scene?
I've been into hip hop since the 80s, really. I've been listening to it. I believe it was Run DMC and Aerosmith, Walk This Way, that got me into it on Much Music. You know, you watch that video and you're like, oh, those guys are so cool. But there wasn't much of the rap hip hop stuff out there
Right.
back in the 80s. And then LL Cool J came out towards the end. And then in the 90s, you know, you got the Criss Cross and the Vanilla Ice and all that. And then all of a sudden it just exploded and it was everywhere on the radio, everything. So then I would beg my parents to buy me cassettes of these people. And they did until they found out there's a bunch of curse words in some of these. So then they didn't like it so much anymore. But anyway, yeah, I grew up loving it, even though a lot of people back then didn't like it.
Yeah, it's always had this weird kind of evolution, and it was very much like Run DMC and like LL Cool J really kind of brought it into a whole new forefront. But then there was always this struggle, and it's inappropriate. And then you think about other songs that were released at that time in different genres. You're like, how is that? Like,
Yeah.
they're just saying the bad words, but this is telling a lot worse story.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So I never envisioned myself back then as to getting into doing hip hop.
Yeah.
I just a listener, and I was really enjoying it and listened to everything. And I had a good group of friends that listened to it. And then towards the late 90s, I'd say, hip hop just wasn't as enjoyable for me. It turned into basically like Major League Baseball signing all the big artists, all these different labels, and it didn't seem like they were trying to make the best album possible. It seemed like they were just trying to get signed and trying to make the most money as possible. So I kind of fell off of it a bit, and then I thought, well, shit, I can make it back the stuff that I liked.
Yeah.
So I started writing, and of course I was shy about it. I wasn't going to tell anyone, wasn't going to show anyone, and then got drunk at a house party, and I had a rhyme that I had written when I was going to U of C, and I just busted it out one time, and they were like, whoa, what? Do that again. So that went on for, I don't know, a couple parties, and people really enjoyed it. So I wrote another one, and then I ran into my friend Solio. We were going to SAIT at the time. So yes, after U of C, I went to SAIT. And he found out I liked hip hop, so he became my friend, and he's like, no, we got a crew over here of about 8 to 10 guys.
Yeah.
And we just sit in my basement, we write rhymes, and we have a mic hanging from the ceiling. We got a 4-track recorder, and we just record. Or sometimes we don't record. We just have fun and all that. And I'm like, whew. And he's like, why don't you come over? Like, talk about intimidating, walking into someone's dark basement with a mic hanging from the ceiling with all these guys you don't know. And then all of a sudden it's your turn. So look, but anyway, they were great guys. They encouraged me along, and I went there for years, and we had a great time. And then we started, let's start recording this stuff. So it just developed, and especially as technology got easier, because we were using a cassette 4-track,
Yeah.
which you can't just record on that and then play it in your car. It records different, like the instrumental on one side, your vocals on the other side, and you got to mix it down and all that. And then technology just kept getting better. Then we got an 8-track that recorded on CD. And then, yeah, all of a sudden we could record something and then play it for a friend the same night, the same week,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And people are like, oh, when's your CD come out? When's your CD coming out? So we had this big crew of guys. So we just kind of made a greatest hits of the songs we'd been practicing for years and burnt it onto CDR and just started selling it to people.
Yeah.
And then me and Solio and King Lou were the ones that were more serious about it. And so we formed our own group back then called Empirical. And then it just blew from there. We started putting out professionally recorded stuff, and it's fun. We do it as a hobby. Obviously in Canada, you're not making too much money doing music, but we've had a lot of fun, done a lot of shows, open for important acts, and yeah, we've been in the scene for a while, even though it's evolved and changed over time.
Yeah. Well, I want to touch on something that you kind of brought up, because as a fellow performer, it can be intimidating that first time you're going to go out and perform, and that's if you're doing like a script or if you're singing, but you are performing your own words, and that's a whole different. There's two different aspects coming out of you. Like, I got to be a good performer, but I also have good
Oh yeah,
lyrics. Like, what was that?
nerve-wracking.
That first time you did it, were you ready to throw out the whole time?
Yes, in 2004, we actually rented out a place and got all the equipment in there so we could do our whole set to nobody.
Yeah.
And then the next night we had to do it to everybody. But also after that, we, me, Solio, and King Lou, we decided to hit up some karaoke joints.
Yeah.
To kind of get over that nervous feeling. So we'd go up and choose a song that we knew, but we didn't really know. Like, I don't know if people out there have done karaoke before. You think you know a song until all of a sudden the words are in your face and you're like, yeah. So, yeah, so you kind of get thrown on the spot, and we did that a few times, and it was pretty funny doing karaoke in front of random crowds and all that. And then we started doing more shows and more shows and more shows, and yeah. And then I guess we got used to it. But we're old now. We don't do as many shows anymore.
It takes a lot out of you to do shows, and trying to get the venue and trying to get people out. And it's so tough too in Calgary, where, I mean, right now as we're recording this, we're in a little bit of a warm spell, barely.
Yesterday.
But that's the problem that we have. You can be all pumped and have people come to a show, and then a blizzard and -40 can hit you, and you're like, oh.
As you know, COVID has shut down a lot of places.
Yeah.
So most of the places I performed at don't exist anymore. So it's a tougher crowd for me to know where to even have a show these days. I did not have a CD release party. Well, obviously not a CD release, but I didn't have a release party for this album because I didn't know if people would come. But in the past, I've always had them. But back when we started, there was no Facebook. There was no social media to share these things.
Yeah.
We were literally printing flyers, taping them up, stapling them, handing them out, going to shops on 17th and giving them flyers and trying to get people to shows and all that. It was a different world, man. Social media has changed everything. Now you just put up a little picture and invite people and they say yes or no. Yeah, there's zero effort anymore.
Yeah.
I used to have to hustle.
You really did have to hustle for. You had to really get that word out there. I mean, that is, I'm thankful that I have Instagram to promote my events, because it is tough to, because even I put posters up at the venues and not everybody still pays attention to them. And then there's people who definitely see them and they're like, oh yeah, I saw that you guys do Trivia Tuesday here. So there's still those people that you have to kind of
shake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a lot of events, so.
I do. So if you ever need help or places to go, I can help you out here. Okay, so let's talk about Black Ship Enterprise now. This is your fifth album?
Well, I've had albums under Empirical before, but this is the fifth Iron Lion album.
Nice. And what made you feel right for this album? What were all the pieces coming to play that you're like, I know what this album's gonna be?
Well, the last album I did was in 2020, and it was kind of almost like a greatest hits of the last 4 years before that. I was just kind of putting out singles, and then I put them all together, and then I was kind of doing the same thing. This time I've put out a lot of music over the last couple of years. I mean, they've all been one-track sort of things. And then my buddy, The Equation, who does all the beats on this album, he gave me and King Lou a beat last summer, and we were like, this is dope. How long you been producing? Well, we've known him as an MC forever, but
yeah,
he started producing beats and he was being shy about it, and he finally gave us one, and it's called City of Fire 2. It's out there, and he gave me a beat pack just last year, and I was like, man, this is great. So I didn't really intend on doing an album.
Yeah.
And then so I got this beat pack from him, so I picked one of them, and it ended up being the first single, Lay It Down. Just a haunting, eerie little sample with some awesome drums on it. So I was like, okay, I got to slay this. I got to hit this.
Yeah.
So that one was like just a hip hop lovers type track. It's for the spitters out there. And I did that and played it to a couple friends. It wasn't out or anything. And they're like, oh, this is dope. I'm like, you should hear the rest of these beats. So they're like, what are you doing with them? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll do an album.
Yeah.
So then we decided to do an album, and yeah. And so, hey, what up, Scott? The Equation, EQ403 Beats on Instagram. But yeah, it was kind of just something that evolved from one song to an album, and it's been great. And I took my time and had a great time with it.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of this thing.
And how quickly do you find that it's going to become an album? When you hear a song, are there certain songs you hear and write and then go, this is like a completely solo thing, there's no connecting points? Or are there some that you write and go, I think there's more that I can relate to this?
Well, it was kind of to do with his beat pack that he gave me. Because Lay It Down, as I said, was the haunting, eerie, spitter type song. And then the next single, Days Like This, is like a happy-go-lucky, reminiscent song about back in the days before, you know, we had to worry about money and jobs and all that. And it's about just sitting with your friends around a campfire and enjoying life. Because, man, I miss those days, you know?
I was going to say, I listened to the entire album today and I was like, Days Like This definitely stands out because it's definitely more of the like, it's just nice, fun, nostalgic.
Yeah, a little chant in it.
Yeah.
You know, you can chant back to it and stuff. And all the rhymes are simple and slow, and it's easily a song that people could learn and, you know, sing along with.
Yeah.
And I kind of made it a polar opposite of the first single, as, you know, that one's all flowing and spitting. But I wanted to make a song for everybody, basically.
Yeah.
Not just for the spitters, but for their girlfriend and their mamas too, you know? So that's where I was going with that. And that one's blown up. It's doing really well. So
yeah,
very happy with that. I was supposed to have a video for that one as well, but I didn't realize how much time we'd have with nice weather in this fall. But
yeah,
so I kind of canceled doing the video early, and I'll do it again in the spring. But I didn't realize we wouldn't get snow until like November.
I know this was a weird one. I mean, I don't want to complain too much because I'm like, oh God, is it just going to be really bad January?
That's Calgary though. Yeah, we always pay on the back end.
Yeah.
But that's Calgary, though. Oh, it's plus 17. And then all of a sudden, snow alert.
Yeah.
Snow alert. 12 to 24 centimeters coming tomorrow. Damn it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, please just stop. But I know it's winter, whatever. So, okay, I wanted to ask you about music videos then. When you produce a song, you create it, you love it, when do you know that you want to do a music video for it? And is it because the vision of the music video comes very clear to you?
Yes, Lay It Down was the first one I did. I had talked to some people about doing a video, and it just seems none of my friends do videos anymore. No one was too interested, so I started trying to find some people. And then, yeah, one of my friends, Greasy B, his son Kane, was starting up a production company called Pink Wave Media in Calgary.
Oh, nice.
And he was interested in doing a video. So I was all excited, and he's like, what do you think about doing drone shots? My buddy has a drone. I'm like, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And I just got a new truck, so I got the new truck in the video. And he's like, well, what's the theme you see in this? And I'm like, well, this song's about slaying. It's about killing.
Yeah.
So why don't I bury a body? Whereas metaphorically, the body is the beat. It's the song.
Yeah.
So in this, I drive a little bit, pull over, and pull a body out of my trunk and dig a hole, and that's what it is. So check out Lay It Down on YouTube.
Lay It Down on YouTube. Check it out. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other songs on there. So yeah, you released Lay It Down first. That was back in July, and then you did Days Like This. And so now the whole album just came out November 29th, so everybody can go and listen to it all. If other than the two that we've talked about so far, what's one on there that you really think people need to listen to?
Well, I definitely have an answer for that since the album came out. The one I've been getting the most compliments on is kind of the humorous, fun one called Suns Out, Guns Out.
Yes.
So, again, this is the worst time of year for that.
Yeah.
But, so when the winter thaw comes in the spring and that sun starts coming out, that's when I'm going to release that one as a single. And hopefully we'll have a fun, funny video for that as well. So this song is about, you know, getting over the winter blues, and being excited when you see the first patio open, when you see the snow thawing a bit, when that sun finally comes out and tickles you and you take that hoodie off. And yeah, the song's about literally ripping your sleeves off and the sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, I was listening to it and I was like, that's really fun and nice. It was like in a good mood, and then I looked outside. I was like, Sarah, bitch, we're still in.
Yeah, we're going to have to shelve that one until until the good times. But yes, that one features my good buddy Rick Razor Sharp, who comes with a deadly verse on that. And it also has my friend Alexi Davis from the local rock band T-Cos, who does we were just missing something in the chorus.
Yeah.
The song was done and it is just missing some thickening up. So I sent it to him. He came over and he laid some electrical guitar on it, and it sounds awesome. Then he laid some background vocals on, changed the whole song. It's amazing now. I'm very proud of that one.
It's such a community of working together in the hip hop world. I find it's very much you're missing something, and people are always bringing stuff into it. And I feel more so than some other genres, I find that people are more
the collaboration.
Yeah, the collaboration, and they're more open to talking about it and really like giving everyone their dues on songs.
As you know, as we talked this summer, basically how we got to know each other was when Rick's album came out.
Yeah.
And he had another humorous, fun song featuring me.
Yeah.
And it was called Dad Bod. And that one blew up a little bit too. That was fun. We talked about a video for that one, but it just didn't work out. There is a third guy in it as well, Ben, and he's way out on the East Coast in Nova Scotia. But that one's a fun one.
Yeah.
So you're not just ripping the sleeves off, you're ripping your whole shirt off for that one. That's the Dad Bod.
That is great. And I just am such a big fan of songs that just are fun. Like obviously I like a variety of music. And we're seeing this as everyone's Spotify's Unwrapped coming out this week. But I am such a fan of just good fun. And you've seen it time and time over the years, some songs that just come out of nowhere and blow up in the world because they're just fun.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We kept it PG, good for radio.
Yeah,
but there is a lot of puns and dirty, suggestive things in it. But
how much fun do you have with the like innuendos?
If there was a video, oh man, we would have had a lot of fun with Dad Bod. So, you never say never.
Yeah, never.
Never say never. Maybe we'll rip those sleeves off and do both videos at the same time. There you go.
You can kill
Rick, if you're listening to this, let's do it.
Yeah. So let's talk about this community then here in Calgary. Tell me about this hip hop community.
Well, it has evolved a lot over time, and I'm not as in the center of it as I used to be because, I'm old now. I'm from the early or mid 2000s Calgary hip hop, which was a great scene. It was a lot of rappers got along and, oh, you guys were great. Let's do a show together. And then all of a sudden you're doing a show with that guy. The next time you're doing a show with a different group and all that stuff. So it was we had a lot of fun back then. These days, there is a lot of rappers out there that I don't know personally, but I try to listen to what's out there. And there's still lots of good stuff out there. Obviously, there's way more rappers and a lot less performers than there was back in the day.
Right.
Back in the day, you had to see them perform to basically hear their music because you're buying a CD.
Yeah.
You're not just, let's click on the Calgary playlist on Spotify and let's hear all these guys. So, yeah, it's a different world. There is a lot of people out there and a lot of good ones. I went to Ship Hop, I believe it was, Ship and Anchor last month, and that was a terrific show. Anyone can go up if anyone wants to go up there. They do have an open mic. There's some freestyle and stuff. And yeah, I haven't done that in a long time. But no, it was a great scene. It was great. There was lots of love and we had a great time. I believe that was a Halloween episode or something like that.
And so this is the thing. I feel like people forget or are unaware that in this city there is every type of genre of music out there. You can find it. Some get more notice than others, and of course, like the bigger bands that still come to town are the ones that everybody makes a big deal about. But there's so many great local shows, and there are still some venues. A bunch of them did unfortunately shut down because of COVID. But we're trying to. I'm finding people are starting to realize they need to have some hybrid situations.
Well, I used to be part of a good scene back in the distortion days, distillery days. We used to put on these shows that would be usually 3 groups or 3 acts, and they'd all have to be different genres.
Nice.
So the very first one, I remember I was the rap act. I had a drummer with me at this time. And what up, Brando? And the act right before me was hard heavy metal. So then it's like, all right, Iron Lion, you're up next. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Just all the guys in the front row with the long hair and the leather jackets. And I'm like, how are they going to enjoy this? But, and you know, the next show would be a punk band and a rock band and all that. And those were the funnest shows, getting different people in the crowd that like different music. They're like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think I'd like metal, or I didn't think I'd like hip hop, and all that stuff. And then because of those shows, I ended up joining a band back then called The Buffet. And the reason why they were called The Buffet is because almost all the songs they did were of different genres.
Oh, that's cool.
So some of the songs, but I joined them when we only did a couple shows and then it broke up. That's what bands do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'd have a rap song and then a rock song and a slow song and all that. So no, I do appreciate all types of music. I love performing with different people. I wish I had my own band, my own guitarist, my own drummer and all that stuff. But it's tough working with people and taking other people's time and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to find the time to do the music when you've also got bills to pay.
Yeah.
And until unless you are, your Beyonce like release an album like once a year, but can take her time coming up with everything and do whatever performances she wants. You don't really have that option, and then with a band, especially trying to coordinate time for everybody's schedule.
It's a menace. It's tough. Hope to do it again one day, but it's tough. Yeah, but it is cool. It's a good. I miss. That's the other thing I like about hip hop itself as well is hanging out with people and making music with them and all that stuff. Because the best feeling is when you walk into a room, there's no song, nothing exists yet. You have to put your heads together, write this, create this, and then boom, all of a sudden the song exists.
Wow.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
nothing existed before that. Now all of a sudden you have a song. I'm not saying it's easy,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that literally you walk in with nothing and you walk out with everything. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
It's pretty cool. That's my favorite part of music is the creative process. And usually I hate releasing stuff and promoting and doing all that stuff. And I've been doing my best, but I'm actually enjoying it this time. So
Why do you think you're enjoying it this time compared to others?
I don't know. I am very proud of it,
Yeah.
for one, but I don't know. I really think people are going to like it, and I'm just enjoying the promotion. Maybe it's because I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it, and it's actually going well. Maybe if, everyone said no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be enjoying it as much, but it's been going really well, and yeah, good reception, and I'm having fun doing it. So hopefully I'm not annoying people out there by posting every day
No.
how awesome I am. But,
No, you need
but it is going well.
and if you're not a performer, I don't think people realize how important it is for artists and performers and entertainers to be proud of themselves and kind of put it out there like, look what I'm doing. Look how this is performing, because it's, you put a lot of work into it and a lot of effort and your heart and soul. And then
Yeah, it's very bipolar too. Some days you get very frustrated. Nah, screw this.
Yeah.
I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
Which also is a theme towards the end of this album.
yeah, you've got them in a certain order, don't you?
I made them in a certain order to follow along.
Yeah.
So the equation set up the Black Ship Enterprise intro, and it sounds very much like an intro.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what is this? What is happening? He threw in some pirate ship samples because we came up with Black Ship Enterprise as the album title, which it just goes back to, 20 years ago. There was a DJ Muggs song called Black Ships, and we just loved it.
Yeah.
We got the instrumental and we used to freestyle to it. So it's kind of something we enjoyed together. So I was like, oh, let's call this album Black Ships. And it was supposed to be an Iron Lion and Equation album. And he's like, no, just make it an Iron Lion album. Keep my name in the background. So that's what we did. And yeah, he made all these beats front to back. There's even a couple hidden instrumentals on this thing. But yeah, he followed the theme, and I made it in a certain way. We got the first song, Spittin'. We got the happy song. We got the adventurous On a Mission song, Divide and Conquer. We got the humorous song, Sun's Out, Guns Out. And then we have the song about, in February this year, I almost passed away from an allergic reaction that came out of nowhere. So now I have to carry an EpiPen with me all the time, and it's a life changer and all that. So that paused the album for a bit, and then I wrote that song. And then during out this whole process, I'm like, oh, is this going to be it? This is a lot of work. Maybe this will be my swan song.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be it, but I don't know. It's nothing's for sure. So I had a song that I had already thought about for years, and it ended up being the song Pull the Pin on the album, and it's like an autobiography.
Yeah.
So after I almost passed away, I'm like, what a better time than an autobiography? So I had notes for this song already for years. So I'm like, let's do this. So I wrote and finished that song and did it, and then I was like, what's the end of my autobiography? Well, it must be the end then.
Yeah.
But this whole album, like the whole album cover is dark and it's all grays and whites and blacks because the whole thing is about life and death. It's about the start of a career, the end of a career. And if you heard the very end of it, it ends with the beep, beep, beep. And the last song, Broken Pieces, of course, he tried to make the saddest damn outro as possible, playing the piano.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be just an instrumental.
Yeah.
And I was actually mastering it and mixing the whole album. And then I just started kind of freestyling into it, like, ooh, I should put something on this, like a spoken word almost.
Yeah.
So then within 20 minutes, I had that done. And I was like, I don't know if we'll keep this or not, but I sent it to him. He's like, this is awesome. Yes, this is the way we need this album to go out. So I was like, all right, perfect.
Nice. Well, I did want to ask you about Pull the Pin because I find it very interesting that, and I really like it that you did write the song as if like this is the end, like this is, but you're not like it's one of those things where it's if this is the last song I do,
yeah,
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
But it's
Very proud of this album.
it doesn't have a big exclamation mark at the end. It's like a soft period that like, maybe this is the end. If it is, cool.
Yeah, didn't have a fucking then a headphone chuck across the room.
That was the one thing missing from the album.
But no, there isn't too many swears on this thing. But there is the occasional S word. So when I'm sending it out to radio, I had to make radio edits, all that stuff. But it's doing well on the radio, so
That's good. Yeah. So like tell me about some of these awesome things that's been happening here with the stuff out. It's going well on CJSW.
well, the album itself has been out for less than a week, as you know, and today I was excited. It hit 1,000 streams on Spotify, so that's not including all the Apple Music and all those other ones.
Yeah.
Spotify has, I don't know, easier stats to follow. So I was very happy about that, sharing that with people, and then I got a text from one of my buddies, and he's like, dude, you're on the charts. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you're not only on the charts, but you're at number 1.
Wow.
Today.
Yeah.
Today. So we had planned this interview before any of this had happened. And now I'm riding even higher.
Yeah, that's awesome.
CJSW, thank you very much for playing my songs. And we're sitting at number 1 on the charts and number 1 on the hip hop chart.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's got to feel good. That's got to make you just pretty proud because you put a lot of work into this and you release it, and again you're like, well, hopefully this is welcomed.
Yeah. And people are liking it, and it's getting to places. Like some people will be like, oh, I didn't tell them the album came out, so text them today and they're like, oh yeah, I've already heard it.
Oh no.
Oh, how did you hear about it? Sweet. So no, it's going good. So hopefully it'll keep going. Yeah. But all the Christmas music coming out, maybe it's going to take a back seat to Mariah Carey for a bit, right?
Yeah. Mariah Carey kind of dominates it for the next few weeks. It becomes like number 1 every single year again.
Yeah. So once she goes back to sleep, then your sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, exactly. New Year's if people are thinking of a New Year's resolution, depending on when you're listening to this, it might almost be the end of December here. Maybe you're like for New Year's resolution. Might I suggest listening to more Calgary-based artists?
Absolutely.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, that's a terrific idea. I listen to a bunch, so why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So who are some of the ones you're listening to?
Oh, well, check out my buddy T-Cos. They are terrific. Rick Razor Sharp is always on my list. the guy that made the beats on my album, The Equation, he's also part of a group called Ghost Cartridge,
Okay.
and they have some really cool music, and they've done well as well. And some of their music is just pure instrumental. Some of it is rap. Some of it's electronic. It's all over the place. And they even have a video game called Slayaway Camp.
Oh.
And the soundtrack to that is all done by Ghost Cartridge. And that is on the charts right now, too. And one of my other friends, Wiseacre, just released a Doverville album, and that is also on the charts.
Look at your friends go.
Yeah.
You guys are crushing it.
Yeah, it's kicking butt. There is a lot of good bands out there.
And where are some venues you like to go see the live music here?
Palomino has been one of my tried and true over the years.
It's been standing the test of time, and
Upstairs and downstairs. I performed at both many times. But yeah, there's so many. I'll get invited to a show and I don't even recognize the venue anymore.
yeah.
So Dickens, that's still around, which is awesome because I performed there since we used to do Canada Day shows there like 2005, I think. So yeah, no, there's a lot of venues out there, but I can't think of them off the top of my head here. But and the Ship, I've performed there a few times. And those are all the tried and true ones. All the new ones, Broken City's gone.
Yeah, I know. Broken City's Modern Love now.
Modern Love, yeah,
and
it's still good.
It's just, I went there for Monday Night Comedy, like just a little bit after they reopened, and I was like, just felt weird.
Yeah,
because it's
the same, different.
Yeah, and because there's the big like bar like in the middle now.
Yeah,
it's just I was like, oh, this kind of takes it away for like,
where's that dance floor?
Yeah, it's just for especially for the comedy night. Like now, some people are having to sit like even further back from the stage. It's interesting layout, but I'm glad it's still going.
Oh, for sure. Any venue that's still going that does cool stuff, I'm all for. And you're performing at a bunch of them as well.
Yeah. I'm always at places, and
I know.
And so I'm always trying to get more and more people out to these places because they're local and they've got great space.
And do any of them do music too, or just
we try to? Yeah. No. Some places we're just trying to find the balance. I know I've worked with a few places and tried to have music nights, and we just don't seem to. And same with stand-up comedy. They just don't seem to be coming to the breweries, I've noticed. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get people out to the breweries because it's great. And like, it's delicious craft beer.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the brewery shouldn't need to advertise.
Yeah.
Got beer. Delicious beer.
Such good beer. And the thing is, I've noticed when I've gone out to some shows, I can pay like, maybe $1 cheaper to get like,
a Budweiser,
a Bud or Coors or something like that. But you can go like most breweries' beer prices aren't that expensive, and so people looking for venues, breweries, if you're listening, consider having more live music.
Yes, please.
And I mean, most of them close fairly early some nights too. That you could then just turn it to a show starting at 9 p.m. That's not a problem.
Yeah, and then most of them are all ages as well, aren't they?
Yeah. So many things. I got some ideas. I got some idea. Because what is your hope for the music scene in Calgary for 2025?
Well, I just hope it keeps growing. But one other thing that's been bothering me, not just with big shows, but is the price.
Mm-hmm.
The cover price to go see anybody.
Yeah.
Like whether it's someone famous or just Joe Schmo. Like we used to do shows, we'd be like, should we charge $5 or should we charge 10?
Yeah.
Sometimes 7. Like, what should we do with this? And now it's like, I hear shows and it's like, oh, $30 at the door. That like Burns.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love Burns, by the way. Performed there 150 times. But it's like, why is it $30? What is going on? But I think it's a result of COVID, and all these big shows are now like $300 to go to. Like, even the casino shows are just getting out of control. So it's like, oh, well, we might as well charge 30. But if I had a show, I'd never charge 30.
Yeah.
$10 max.
Yeah.
And you better get something out of it.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the problem and I think some of it has to do with the venues not.
Yeah, the venue is like, why would I do this?
Yeah. Not giving anything up to them. So, yeah, I think there's some things in play, but it is crazy some of the ticket prices. And yeah, I mean, even
Just matter of prices.
I remember when people used to say like, oh, so-and-so is performing at like the Grey Eagle. And I'd be like, cool. Like without second guessing, I'd be like, yeah, I go in because I know the price was really affordable. And now some of them are like, how much to see this person at Grey Eagle?
It used to be
like
$30, $40. Now it's like $120.
Yeah. And some of them are definitely not worth it.
Or a cover band of a band from the 60s.
Yeah, you're like, why am I paying this much? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like people enjoyed going out after COVID, ended.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden venues are like, all right, you want to come out? You're paying.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The economy's not doing good. Like, can we just lower this down a bit, people?
Yeah.
Like, it's a little bit crazy.
But go out, people. Go and support. There's so many great shows. I say that all the time on this podcast whenever I'm talking to performers. You could go see live music every night of the week. You could go see a drag show every night of the week. You could see stand-up comedy every night of the week. You could see trivia every night of the week, pretty much. There's something to do. And you can still make it an affordable night. Like, no one's saying to go to these shows and have a $200 bar tab. Like, just go out and have fun. Have a couple drinks. Do whatever you need to do.
Amen. I do enjoy time out.
Yeah. All right. So Black Enterprise is out now.
Yes.
You're feeling good about it. People seem to be enjoying it.
Yes.
When you released it, when November 29th came out and it was released into the world, did you hold your breath or did you have a sigh of relief?
Both.
Both.
I was nervous about it coming out. 2 singles were already out, but I was nervous about it coming out, and I was also relieved, finally. All this work is done, but it's not really done because now I'm still promoting it. I'm still sharing it with people. So it's not done till it's done, but it's out. Anyone can listen to it, which is terrific. So listen to it.
Listen to it.
And let me know what you think.
And they can find it on everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Even things I've never heard of.
I know, that's the podcast. I'm like, I know Spotify and Apple.
Apple.
And I know there's more because I don't even know what they all go to because all of a sudden I get stats about it. I'm like,
yeah,
what the hell is that format? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's other countries or what, but just do it no matter what.
Yeah.
I got the Amazon Music. We got the YouTube Music. You can just listen to it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like when the album comes out, the provider I use just puts every song with a generic album cover picture on YouTube for people that don't want to subscribe to anything.
Yeah.
You can just go listen to it. So,
yeah,
you got no excuse now.
You got no excuse. Got no excuse, people.
Got no excuse.
Check it out. As we start to wrap up, I do like to ask everybody, what is awesome? Tell me something awesome.
Well, this week, something that was awesome was the Flames game.
Yes.
With Columbus here. I was going to say the return of Johnny Hockey, but in spirit. But,
yes.
Wow, that was a roller coaster. That was very emotional. Not a dry eye in the house. And wow, that was awesome. That was cool. Seeing Sean Monahan back. And you got to feel for everybody in that situation. It was so sad. But they did it right.
Yeah.
I think they really respected everything really good. And it was a heck of a show. I couldn't not watch it. I think everyone went home to watch that. Or if you're lucky enough to be at the game, that must have been something.
Yeah, I was hosting trivia, so I got to watch all the highlights afterwards of it, and it was so emotional and just such a beautiful thing to see. I mean, we talked about community earlier, and there's such a hockey community that really came together, and they weren't. Yes, they were competing against each other that night, but it was all in good. Like it was a different type of feeling game.
Never had a game like that. No, I've ever seen before. Like that was crazy. Sorry to bring the mood down, but I thought that was awesome and unique, and this city did me proud on that one.
You did it like your album, and
Yeah,
it's ups and it's downs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay, final words. Your final. If someone's been listening to this and they're like, "Yeah, maybe we'll check it out." What's your final thing to tell them to check it out?
Well, in a perfect world, I would like you to turn off that shuffle button, open this album, and press play. It's only 8 songs. It's only 28 minutes of your time. So if your drive to work is half an hour, just press play and enjoy it because it's meant to be listened to front to back. And The Equation did such a beautiful job with these instrumentals. And there's a couple secret ones in there just to tie in different songs and all that. And yeah, very proud of it. I feel that the lyrics hold their own. And like I said, different songs bring different vibes, bring different feelings. And yeah, add to those stats. Listen to it. Tell me what you think. Find me anywhere. I'm on every social media. I even downloaded TikTok for this thing. I have 2 posts ever. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what TikTok is there for. So you can find me there.
Yeah.
Iron Lion 35 or something like that. But yeah, and search it out. Black Ship Enterprise by Iron Lion and The Equation.
And I was gonna say, I listened to it all the way through, and yeah, I haven't done that in a while, but a lot of albums haven't done that in a while, where you need to kind of listen to it. So it's nice to kind of have that. It is great. There are certain songs that can really just stand alone and go in your. But if you want the full experience, I think have that. Get stoned and listen to it.
Oh, absolutely. Just sit in the back. Just get right into it.
Yeah.
Just however you like to sit down and listen to music. Just get the kids in another room, you know?
Yeah.
Sit by yourself, throw some headphones on, whatever way you feel comfortable, especially with an edible.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's what I may or may not have done.
Yeah,
I listened to.
Oka J, sit back and just enjoy it. It's quick. Quick and painless.
Quick and painless. Best way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you for being here today, Iron Lion. I really appreciate it. And yeah, people can just really search you out, Iron Lion. They can find everything on Spotify, wherever they listen to music, YouTube, and then on the social media platforms as well. And give a shout out to a couple of Equation.
Yes, Equation made all the beats. I have my features of Suns Out Guns Out is Ricka Razor Sharp. Divide and Conquer is my friend King Lou. And also Alexi, what up, from TCOS doing the guitar and the backgrounds on Suns Out Guns Out.
All right. And yeah, then this is like those little rabbit hole situations. You listen to Iron Lion, you hear some of the people on it, you go and listen to them, and you go down like a rabbit hole. And it's like the 6 degrees of separation kind of bacon for musicians here in Calgary. So just go and listen. Iron Lion, everybody, thank you for being here. Like I said, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Follow Iron Lion, listen to it. Make sure to follow me on social media, Passing Time with Craig, PTW Craig, for all the fun ways to pass time. Otherwise, we'll chat soon. Bye.